Hello, Internet, and welcome to all you guys. Thanks for checking back in. I appreciate the fact that you're here. A lot of old friends and loved ones, but also I'm noticing quite a few new folks are checking out the channel, and that makes me happy. So if you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do that. Hit the like button if you want to. So many channels say like and subscribe, and that bothers me because you should only like and subscribe if you like and want to subscribe. So if that's you, then go ahead. But thank you for being here. I had my second round of treatment yesterday, and had, as you guys know, it's the panitumumab, which is a monoclonal antibody treatment, EFGR. That means it targets the receptors on skin cell development, and that obliterates my tumors, my cancer, but it also affects my hair follicles, and it causes an acneiform rash, and I'm getting the effects of that. But again, some of this is repeat information for those of you that follow carefully, but I'm also on, it's called fluorouracil. It's 5FU, again, a very funny acronym for, for this pump. Here it is. It's like a little, I won't take it out of the pouch, but it's like a little, I used to call it my nuclear football, but now I'm calling it my nuclear hand grenade because it's more the size of a hand grenade. And it's a plastic bottle that infuses into my port, which is right here. And so it goes directly into my vascular system, and it lasts about 46 hours. So tomorrow I will go and get that disconnected, and then I'll be free from these tubes and wires. And it's really hard to take a shower and just do the normal things. As you know, I have a stoma bag as well. So in addition, having this pump hooked up to me for a couple of days makes it really hard to go through the normal showering rituals. So I have to kind of do the pits and parts, sponge, washcloth, cleansing for a few days until I get all this stuff disconnected. But that'll be tomorrow. And the first cycle was 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't, I had my treatment on Wednesday, the pump removed on Friday, and it wasn't until Saturday that I felt really bad, the sledgehammer day. I felt awful on Saturday, but it's kind of funny. This time I only had my treatment yesterday, but today I have felt very tired. In fact, as I look at myself in this video, I look like I've been sleeping, which I haven't been sleeping much, but I've just been like really kind of lethargic and fatigued today. But you know what? You can see outside. I've got two things going on. I've got the fire right here, but then also you can see out the window. We are in the middle of an Arctic plunge. The temperature was 8 degrees above zero this morning. Now it's about 5 below zero right after sunset. And we're on our way down to 20 below zero tonight in the Twin Cities area. And with strong north winds, we're gonna have wind chills like right around 40 degrees below zero tomorrow morning, and for about the first half of the day tomorrow, maybe even into the evening before the winds start to calm down. And then still temperatures about 15 to 20 degrees below zero. That's without the wind chill, tomorrow night. So we are firmly locked in the Arctic blast, which is feeding this massive winter storm that's going to be heading across the south and central and eastern United States. And I know a lot of the folks, those of you watching this video, are going to be in the middle of that. Loved ones, family, friends of mine from Texas to Kansas to Arkansas and on into the Northeast. So have fun. We'll be freezing while you are getting dumped on with snow and ice. So there you go. Anyway, I'm not quite sure how long this video will be. I just wanted to update you guys and let you know that I'm kind of in a good spot mentally and emotionally with all this, because I feel like we're on it. I have I have had some really interesting conversations and uncovered some interesting stats and research based on the very latest developments with courses of treatment for stage 4 colon cancer, especially the wild type, which is what I have. I do not have the KRAS or the other sort of genetic mutations. I have wild type, and there's quite a few um, therapies, uh, targeted therapies, chemotherapies that work. I realized a couple days ago, I've been calling panitumumab an immunotherapy. It's not. It's a targeted therapy, a monoclonal antibody. Immunotherapies are totally different. What they do is they activate your T cells and your personal immune system to fight the cancer. That's not what panitumumab is. It's not a traditional chemotherapy, but it's more of a targeted therapy on the cellular level, like specific types of cell multiplication. But yeah, for me, I've been on Pani. That's the pet term, Pani, since the beginning, and in conjunction with this pump, the fluorouracil, it's been working for me. Again, I was using the capecitabine pills before, which is the same as this pump. It's the same drug, but it's delivered in a different way. It metabolizes differently, and that's why I'm back on the pump, to hopefully avoid the finger splits. And I've talked about that so much that those of you that watch all my videos are sick of the topic. But anyway, we're hoping that I can stay on this treatment longer. We have had to stop the last 2 years when I have been on this treatment with the capecitabine pills. We've had to stop after 5 or 6 cycles because of the fact that the side effects, the skin-oriented side effects, have become really debilitating, like almost to the point where I can't function, as far as just basic hygiene. And again, I have a stoma bag, which has to be dealt with several times a day. And so again, I think we will know within a month or 6 weeks whether I'm going to be seeing the fissures in my fingers and on my feet that were so difficult for me to just do the normal things of life. And if that's the case, then that means we can go for, instead of just 5 or 6 cycles, we can go for 8 or 10 or maybe even 12, which takes us all the way into the first part of the summer. And that could set me up for something that I have never really seriously allowed myself to consider, and that is a curative stage. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I'm not totally on board with this yet. I was told in the very beginning that my type of cancer was a very genetically common cancer. Therefore, the research has developed a lot of different treatments. I don't have one of these odd genetic mutations where you end up having to go to clinical trials and things that, are still in development. So I was told very early on that I was potentially curative. I had the liver resection. I've had a few ablations. I've had my few cycles of chemo, but my cancer has always come back. There's always been a recurrence. It hasn't been super aggressive. It's been very limited. It's been minimal, but it just comes back. Again, stage 4 means your cancer is just it's in your system, and it's on the microscopic level. And when treatment stops, it sort of reforms, or it coalesces again. And all of a sudden you've got these 6 millimeter, 10 centimeter, 10 millimeter, 13 millimeter nodes and nodules and lesions that start popping up again in the liver, especially. A couple of the little ones that are in my lungs, as you know. But I am being told, and my new oncologist here locally who's administering this round of chemotherapy, I explained that it's closer to home, keeps me from having to go down to Rochester all the time. He has been trying to encourage me and say that I am still potentially curative. And I know that my Mayo team agrees. that if we can stay on this treatment and drag it out like for a couple more months longer than we've been able to in the last 2 years by managing the side effects, that we could wipe this out. There are some, research is better every year. There's more research because the technology is better, the medicine is better, the treatment is better, the chemotherapy, immunotherapy, targeted therapy, everything is advancing, and the research lags behind. So it's sometimes 5 years after the fact that you start to see the new statistics of survival rates. And I'm finding out that, I'm at 3 years and 2 months. I'm finding out that people who can make it past 4 into 5 years with managed recurrence and even maybe moving to a period of NED, which is no evidence of disease. I've only briefly been there for just like very short periods of time. But people that can get to that level and stay at that level once they're at the 4 and 5 year mark and who have had successful, effective treatment and have not become resistant to treatment, all of a sudden there's a huge jump in survival rates, which means curative or even just, being able to buy another 4 or 5 years and getting to 9 and 10 years, And I know I have friends, I have people that I'm close to who have shared personal stories with me about people, relatives, people that they are close to who have had my same diagnosis and who are, living longer. And as you guys know, I'm a member of Man Up to Cancer. It's a national, even international men's cancer group. I've been to 2 national conferences, and we have online kind of a social network. And there's guys there that have stage 4 CRC that are 8, 9 years, 10 years into it. But not to be negative Nancy, there's also guys with stage 4 CRC who die every week in our group. It's composed of about 1,500 or 2,000 members, but even in since Christmas, there's been 3 or 4 guys that I know with stage 4 colorectal cancer who have passed away. And so, I guess you guys that follow, that I'm a total realist. I'm not a toxic positivity rainbows and unicorns guy, but I'm also not like a big pessimist. I just like to look at both sides and be realistic. I don't want to be surprised by anything. And I'm super grateful, that too. I'm very grateful because initially, my very first initial diagnosis in the very beginning was 2 to 3 years. And I'm already 2 years beyond that and thriving, basically. So, okay. The other thing we're already up to 13 minutes, but I was thinking the other day, gosh, what a life I've had. I have one viral video that's gotten like 2,000 views, and it's entitled how much time or how long do I or we have left? And I just talk about how, regardless of your current health status, no matter, whether you've got heart disease or cancer or nothing, whether you're supposedly totally healthy, you can still drop dead tomorrow. Or you could have a terminal illness and live 10 or 15 years. So the point is, we don't know how much time we have left. And I've been thinking a lot about my life and what I've done and how I've lived and what I've accomplished or what I've seen and experienced. And I'm not bragging, but I'm just saying I'm at 61 years old, 61 and a half. I have had an unbelievable life. I've been to Mount Everest 2 times, on the Tibet side and the Nepal side, to the base camps at 18,000 feet. Big deal, but still, how many people have been there? I lived in India for almost 20 years, North India, and I taught English amongst the Tibetan Buddhist population and Tibetan refugees in North India. I'm a meteorologist. I did 9 years of TV. I chased tornadoes. I feel like I've had a wonderful kind of spiritual life. I've experienced so much of like different angles of Christianity and missions and faith communities, and I've asked all the hard questions. I've wrestled through things. I've got amazing friends. I've got an awesome family. Many of you know I have a niece who's an Olympic swimmer. Hi, Reagan. And not that she's any better than my other nieces and nephews. He may not have accomplished that particular thing, but still, I am a fortunate, blessed person. I have parents who I love so much, and they're in their 80s. So the whole point is, if I die tomorrow, I had a great life, and I'm so grateful. But maybe God is going to give me a few more years. Let's see. And I guess I just encourage you to have the same attitude about your life. Try to count your blessings. Look at the great stuff that you've been able to experience, and even the struggles. I mean, I just named a bunch of cool things, but I've also had some horrific struggles in my life, personally, relationally, physically, medically, whatever. Huge challenges, and that's part of life too. So. Okay, Linnea, if you're still watching, she's a friend of mine. Actually, the sister of one of my very best friends in life who passed away from cancer a little over 3 years ago. But Linnea always tells me she loves my philosophical ramblings. So there you go. That one's for you. And I love all of you guys. Thank you again for trudging through this with me. And also, for trudging through the late January weather, this epic cold and stormy weather in 2026 January. So more later. Thank you. Love you. Bye.